You all know the famous adult television show South Park, right? It's very prominent with the teenage and adult population in the United States. Well, not that many people remember the episode that was accidentally aired. It was just a random tape that one of the staff members made. It was in October of the year 2000. Right when the show was getting very popular. Being 15 at the time, I was an avid fan of South Park. I just loved the inventiveness and the crude animation, but I don't like watching it anymore. It seems that every time I watch it, the episode and the horrible nightmares come back. I don't like recalling it. Remember that the episode aired at an awkward time. I was watching The Daily Show, and then after that, South Park was on. It was an episode I had never seen because the episode DVR showed up as episode 1000. I was confused by the name, but I just thought that my DVR had made a mistake. Sometimes they did that. I decided to watch the episode, thinking that it was a rerun because the new episode was supposed to air 6 days from then. It couldn't have been the new episode. I started with the normal intro. Then it cut to the schoolyard where most episodes first take place. It showed a crowd of people circling around something. I was also very confused because the animation is not that great. It was almost like the Spirit of Christmas short that the creators had made years before. Then the camera panned to what they were circling around. That was Cartman. It looked as if Cartman was being bullied. Not like normal bullying. I couldn't tell because the audio was cutting up and getting all choppy. But then the audio cleared up almost instantaneously. The other children being non-recognizable because they were just stock children. The only notable characters that were there were Stan and Kyle. Cartman was being thrashed and thrown around, and the other children were chanting, "Kill the fat ass!" The more he was getting thrown around, the more you could see that his face was being damaged. It was extremely detailed, almost scaringly detailed. It didn't cut to Stan and Kyle. They were moving in real time to the cut to a still image of them, almost like somebody paused the video, but the sound was still going. You could hear Cartman's screams of agony and distress when the still frame photo was being shown. The still image of Stan and Kyle was of them just standing there, menacingly, along with everybody else who weren't taking part in the torture of Cartman. The expressions on the face was terrifying. Kyle had a demonic look in his eyes. The images were very low quality. Like something you would get out of an old VCR tape. Stan had a very hard look in his eyes, almost like he was going to sob. As the seconds passed by, the sound was oddly cut off, absolutely silenced. Then after 30 seconds, the sound cut to Cartman screaming over and over again. There was no crowd noise, just screaming. As the screams progressed, it got even more high-pitched and terror-filled. Then it cut to the video again. It was obviously disturbed at this point. I was more confused and disturbed. Why would they air this? It was like an episode that wasn't finished or something. The video was of everybody kicking Cartman out of the playground. One of them saying, "That'll teach the fat ass." It then shows Cartman running in his house. He then runs up to his room and starts sobbing, profusely. He then starts talking to his stuffed animals. He asked them, "Why? Why would they do this to me? What did he ever do to them?" The stuffed animals tells him to get them back and make them feel the pain he went through. It says yes to a stuffed animal in a very monotone voice, almost as if it was a robot just spoke. It says that they call him fat means nothing but a fat ass. So I'll make them feel its misery. And then says to himself that his first victim will be Butters. He then goes to Butters' house and tells him to come over to his house because he got the new game system. Butters then agrees to go to his house. The camera cuts to Cartman's basement. Butters soon asks where the game system is. The looking confused. It then cuts to a first-person perspective of Cartman behind Butters. It shows Cartman his hand with a crowbar on him. Then smacks Butters on the back of the head with the weapon. It cuts to Butters waking up, have his hands and feet bound. Cartman then says,
"You all bullied me, so I will now bully you."
It then shows Cartman smashing Butters in the face with a fire extinguisher. Again, the detail on the damage being done to Butters' face is immense. The audio then cuts out again, but for only 5 seconds. It then turns back on to a that doesn't sound like it's coming out of Butters. It's a very loud, ear-piercing scream, at the tone of a grown man's voice. The scene then cuts to a photo of Butters' house with a caption that reads, 12 hours later. I am very terrified by this point. I was going to turn off and try to forget about it, but I had to keep watching. Of course you had to. It then shows Sam, Kyle, and Kenny at Butters' front door. They then knock on the door. Butters' father opens the door and he asks where Butters is. He says that he's staying the night over at Cartman's house. They then go to Cartman's house. The scene cuts to Cartman in the corner of his basement sobbing. The audio cuts to a faint wind noise. Then it cuts to a very loud sequence. It sounds as if someone was playing someone's speech backwards, or as if someone was speaking in different languages. The video then cuts to a still frame of Cartman sitting there, menacingly, with an expressionless face. The audio coming to him speaking in a whimpering voice. It's very faint, but then fade to a higher volume. It consisted of Butters saying, Cartman saying,
I killed him.
The sound cuts to Cartman singing in the same voice,
God, 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 God. I'm going to be with God soon.
Then the sound completely cuts off completely. The still frame lasts for about 7 seconds. And cuts back to a scene where the 3 boys walk down to the basement and see Butters' dead body. They scream in terror, then they say,
Oh my God, Cartman, what the hell?
Cartman then says,
God made me do it.
They freeze in shock. Cartman then runs to the top of the stairs and shuts the door and locks it. They then scream,
Let us out, you fucking psychopath.
Cartman then says,
God is telling me to kill you, Free. You revealed the fact that I got my revenge.
They then scream in horror. They yell something, but it wasn't audible. Cartman walks to his kitchen cabinet, the scream still being audible. He grabs lighter fluid and matches. He spreads lighter fluid around and throws the match, then quickly runs out of his house. The camera cuts to a fire truck in front of Cartman's house. The fire gets put out quick. Then police go and inspect the scene. They cut to them digging for rubbish. Then they dig up Kyle's body. The entire body was intact. He was dead except for his face. His face looked as if a picture of a real person's burnt face was photoshopped onto his face. The look of it was horrifying. It basically looked like a black skeleton face. It then cuts to Cartman crying in an alley. He then pulls out a knife and cuts into his abdomen area. He pulls out the realistic-looking body fat that flows out of the wound. He whispers to himself,
I am no longer fat. I am now beautiful.
And then starts laughing like a madman. The camera zooms out. He screams into the camera with a demonic look on his face.
I am with God now,
he screams. He cuts to normal credits, then to normal programming at that time. I was very distraught after what I just saw. Not wanting other people to see what I just witnessed, I quickly deleted it off my DVR. The staff member that made the episode was never found or discovered. I tried to forget about the episode, but the nightmares started coming to me. I was sobered out late because of the episode that my mother checked me into a hospital for mentally ill people. 4 years later, I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I now reside with my mother. She always looks after me to make sure that I am alright. Constantly think of that episode. I never stop thinking about it. And I never will.